My initial thoughts after reading this book is, what a whirlwind.
Bottom line is,
read a book, people.
The Underground Man is nauseatingly, infuriatingly, and insufferably nihilistic, rational, and just like, you just want to take him by the neck and go, ugh. And yet I can relate to him because I myself am an overthinker. And one of the reasons why I chose to read this book by Dostoevsky is I wanted to get his thoughts on overthinking and see if he could just, tear me to pieces on that. But even though I'm an overthinker, this guy is just, it's bad. So if this is what I am really like, if this is what I come across as, then good Lord. What I can relate to specifically with the Underground Man is that he takes real life situations and then broods over them. And he comes up with these alternate realities or scenarios. And in every single one of his little spin-off worlds, he makes himself the victim. He always feels like people are out to get him, like they're just nasty people. He's the kind of guy that you just, you want to bring in close and, put your arm around him if you have to and say, let's just go to the bar, all right? Let's just get a drink, run a mile. I don't care. Dance our asses off. Do whatever it takes. If there's anyone who needs a drink, it is this man. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he'd spiral even further. I don't know what the nihilistic, neurotic types do on alcohol, but, my takeaway from this book is just thinking about... not overthinking about, but thinking about the perils of rationality and being nihilistic and the state of mind that can be brought about by just brooding so much over your own thoughts and thinking and being too rational about things. This is really about taking rationalism to its extreme, taking the intellect to its extreme. A cautionary tale to warn you that life can be very miserable if all you think about is yourself or how others view you, and you can spiral off into these conversations with yourself that always make you the victim and make it so you believe that everybody's out to get you. And what I learned from the brothers Karamazov is that being a victim allows you to distinguish yourself in a sort of way, and I think that he is attempting to do that in a lot of parts in this book, The Underground Man, because with his intellect, he does believe that he's above everybody. He thinks he's just better. He says it multiple times. He's like, if only they knew what I knew. If only they could think as I think. He clearly thinks that he is playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. And if everybody else around you is just dumber than you, which is what the Underground Man believes, then life is just going to be highly annoying. But what's so funny about him is that through all of his rationality and all of his overthinking, he comes to do all of these purely irrational things. And I think he appears to others around him as crazy. And they don't want to be around him. They try to avoid him. He doesn't have friends. There's one person who attempts to maybe extend an olive branch and try to be a good person around him, and I won't spoil it, but let's just say it's hard to locate this man's heart. There are actually quite a few funny bits in this book. As we go through the thoughts of the Underground Man, he shares some kind of witty remarks as to what he's thinking. And one of them, he's waiting in this particular scene for a group of his so-called friends to arrive at this dinner. And he thought that they were supposed to get there at 5 o'clock. They ended up showing up at 6, and he has to say this about it. Rarely had I passed a more unpleasant hour, so that when they all arrived together precisely at 6 o'clock, I was initially overjoyed to see them, as if they were my liberators, and I almost forgot that I was supposed to appear offended. You see, he had planned it all out. He knew he was going to be offended when they walked in the door. It was his one job, just to be offended. But it's good that there's a little comedy sprinkled in throughout these notes from the Underground Man, because it is quite a dark, neurotic book, like I said. So those are my initial quick thoughts after finishing this book. Again, I think it's very much about the perils of overthinking and just being hyper conscious of yourself, which is like, it can be one of the worst forms of torture, honestly. It's miserable to think about yourself that much and to spin off all these scenarios about your life when you can just relax a little. So if that sounds like a trip you'd like to go on, I recommend Dostoevsky's Notes from Underground. I definitely recommend this translation as well. I think Michael Katz is great. And the Norton Critical Edition was nice. The footnotes were nice. They explained quite a lot as I read through the book. There's a lot of good context within this edition that I think is very helpful. This is one of Dostoevsky's shorter works, by the way. It's only about 90 pages. So if you're a fast reader, you could probably get this done in a day. Or if you're like me and you're a slow reader, it'll take you, 3 to 4 days. And ladies and gentlemen, if you found this video in any way helpful, please hit the like button, comment down below. If you have read Notes from Underground, I would love to know what you got out of it. Dostoevsky's works have so much depth to them that I'm sure there are multiple interpretations one can gather from this. So I'd love to hear those in the comments below. Let me know. And as always, please subscribe to the channel for more content. And I hope to see you in the next video.